is going on, everybody? Daddy back here for another reaction video, guys. Man, I appreciate you guys so much. Stop by the channel once again. If you guys have not, make sure you guys leave a like on the video. Hit that subscribe button with the notification bell turned on, man. I appreciate you guys so much. Road to 1,400 subscribers, man. And I hope you guys enjoy the content. Today, we're going to be checking out another video of WrestleMania, man. WWE wrestlers who were instantly humbled. And ironically enough, the thumbnail of this video is one Rowdy Ronda Rousey. Somebody who definitely needed to be humbled. When you feel like you're so good as an athlete or whatever it is, you know, people just have high praise, you know, for you, whatever. Your head sort of inflates, you know what I mean? You become this arrogant prick, and you're like, yeah, I'm better than everybody here, man. Fuck you guys. Until you get beat down by somebody who's just a little bit better than you. So we're gonna be checking this out, man. 10 WWE wrestlers who were instantly humbled, man. I'm looking forward to seeing what's on this list. Again, if you guys have not, make sure you guys hit that subscribe button with the notification bell turned on, man. We are close to hitting 1,400 here on the channel. I appreciate you guys. And let's check this out, man. It's a WrestleMania kind of day.
10 WWE wrestlers who were instantly humbled. Be sure to subscribe and hit that notification bell for daily wrestling videos. Number 10, The Big Show. The Big Show's WWE career was a mixed bag, yet it was one segment with Randy Orton in 2021 that offended...
Remember when Big Show was Captain Insano on Waterboy? He actually played that into the storyline in AEW recently, I feel like. I remember him like cutting a promo or whatever, saying that he's such a big movie star, and then somebody was like, you were in the Waterboy for like 5 seconds. I think that was in AEW or WWE. I saw a clip somewhere, I can't remember.
And humbled the Big Show enough to leave the company. In the now infamous segment, Orton would verbally run down the Big Show, and at one stage he even put his hand over Big Show's throat. WWE booked Big Show to sit there and take this abuse, and Big Show was completely justified in taking issue with the segment, as it made him look completely powerless. During an interview with Inside the Ropes, the wrestling legend discussed why he found the segment humbling. That's something that the WWE has always done too. They will use every tool available to promote something that they're promoting. Everything's on the table with them. I understand that the role was setting up what it was setting up, but it was a little bit of a humbling experience to sit on the stage and get berated for the work that you've done. But that's part of what you sign a contract for. You sign a contract and you get paid to check your ego at the door. If you don't want to check your ego anymore, then you can leave. Number 9, Ronda Rousey.
I mean, at least Big Show was like, look, man, I was at a line. I need somebody to check me the fuck out so my brain and my head can fucking, the swelling can go down. And I can be like, look, man, I may be a big bad son of a bitch, but there's always going to be somebody just a little bit more dangerous than me.
The 2018-2019 run that Ronda Rousey had in WWE exceeded all expectations. Rousey brought her A-game to the WWE, and she had tremendous matches. However, when Rousey returned to WWE in 2022, something had changed, and she had spent this second run being humbled by the company itself. Rousey's in-ring work dramatically regressed, and this left WWE with no choice but...
The match between Ronda Rousey and Shayna Baszler should have been a fight pit match instead of this MMA rules match, because that has to be the worst match in SummerSlam history, bro. Ironically enough, that was Ronda Rousey's last WWE match, but that match should have been in a fucking fight pit, bro. They both came from the UFC, MMA. You know, they both fought in the octagon. Why not put them in a fucking octagon and just let them fucking go, bro? I mean, that would have been so much better than just this MMA rules match. But of course, Vince McMahon is such a fucking moron. He doesn't know what's good from business and what's bad for business. This was bad. Fight Pit would have been a lot better.
To move her down the card, Rousey went from winning the Royal Rumble and being in a top match at WrestleMania 38 to being presented in the tag division in feuds that, to be fair, nobody even cared about. WWE's booking showed Rousey that just because she was a star in the UFC and had a successful prior run, she was still going to have to deliver at a high level, and she wasn't going to be able to rely on her star power. It's been evident based on Rousey's numerous interviews since leaving WWE that she didn't remotely enjoy her second run in the company, and it's hard to find sympathy in her situation, and it was without a doubt a humbling experience for the former women's champion. Number 8, The Undertaker. The Undertaker's always prided himself on having excellent pro wrestling matches. When The Undertaker was booked to wrestle Roman Reigns at WrestleMania 33, the dead man planned on this being his final ever matchup. The Undertaker was going to main event the show, hopefully having a match of a lifetime and officially call it a day. Unfortunately, The Undertaker was instantly humbled as he delivered one of the worst performances of his entire career. Unlike most top wrestlers, The Undertaker was fully aware that he had been...
Bro, Roman Reigns vs. Undertaker should have been so good. And they even they even went on record saying this, but it just, man, a couple years too late, man. That's all I can say. And it's not the Undertaker's fault, you know. The dude put his body on the line for years for our entertainment. Dude's a fucking legend. You know, I do think that his final match that he had with AJ Styles in the Boneyard match was fucking phenomenal. One of the best cinematic matches I've ever seen, you know. And it's just a couple years too late, man. That's all I can say.
Been humbled and that he'd underdelivered. The dead man spoke at length regarding how ashamed he was of his performance, and even apologized directly to Reigns for the quality of his performance. The WWE legend would have numerous opportunities to redeem his performance, and his eventual retirement would come 3 years later at WrestleMania 36, where he defeated AJ Styles in a fitting close to an iconic career. Number 7. Mickie James. Our fans were elated when Mickie James returned to WWE in 2017. James was and still is considered to be one of the greatest female wrestlers of all time, but unfortunately, it became apparent incredibly quickly that WWE were going to humble James during her final run in the company. James would rarely win matches, and she was often presented as a side character despite her still being insanely over and her still being able to deliver at a high level in the ring. When her run came to a close, WWE controversially sent her belongings back to her in a trash bag. This quite rightly caused widespread disgust amongst the wrestling community. Speaking to Chris Van Vliet, James would discuss how her run made her feel like she was being humbled at every stage. Yeah, I don't think me getting my stuff in a trash bag was the point. I would say it was on par with everything I tried in the last 2 years of my career. I tried everything in my space to pitch. I felt like I was cut off at every turn. There were a lot of things that happened in the last 2 years that really made me feel that I was being humbled along the way. She continued by saying, "You don't deserve a retirement match. I wasn't upset at being a producer. I love to help younger talent. I don't want to wrestle forever either. This run was going to be my last run. All I wanted was this one moment. I didn't want to win the championship. I just wanted to bow out."
I remember that, man. Like, when back in 2020, when there was like a mass release in WWE, like I think over 50 or 60 wrestlers got released or whatever. And I remember it was such a big deal, and it was a big news story that Mickie James's belongings got sent back to her house in a trash bag. It's kind of ironic now that her husband is the GM of SmackDown. Yes, Mickie James is married to Nick Aldis, if you guys had no idea.
Gracefully, but I felt like there was zero interest. But then trying different things like commentary or trainer in NXT, it's not that people don't want women's wrestling, it's that it is too much for the company. Number 6. Triple H. Upon The Rock and Stone Cold taking a step back from WWE in 2003, Triple H became arguably WWE's biggest full-time star. The game would become the face of Raw, and he would have a dominant world title reign where it was his job to carry the brand and have excellent matches. The issue was that Triple H was humbled by taking on this role. When Triple H wrestled former WCW names such as Scott Steiner, Kevin Nash, and Goldberg, it became clear that he wasn't the ring general that he thought he was, and he didn't have the ability to carry these names to show-stealing pay-per-view matches. In Triple H's defense, it would have been extremely hard for anyone to carry these names to pay-per-view quality matches in 2003, yet Triple H clearly expected things to go much better. Number 5. Hulk Hogan. It's not uncommon for a wrestler who made a career of abusing their backstage power to be eventually humbled years later. This was most definitely the case with Hulk Hogan in 2002. When Hogan returned to the company, he was given a strong push at first, and this included a WWE.
Bro, I will say Hogan versus The Rock is one of the greatest WrestleMania matches. Not quality of match, but presentation. There was 75,000 people that were on the edge of their seats watching this match, man. And the lead up to it, you know, NWO putting The Rock in an ambulance and fucking like running the ambulance over or whatever, like, you know, running a big semi truck into the ambulance. I mean, bro, like, just as from a storyline perspective, bro, this shit was fucking insane. WrestleMania 17 is my favorite WrestleMania, but WrestleMania 18 is definitely a close second. There's a lot of memorable moments on this entire show that I love.
Title winner Backlash. Eventually, WWE decided that it was time for Hogan to give back to the industry, and Hogan would be booked to put over names such as Brock Lesnar, Kurt Angle, The Undertaker, and Triple H. This would have come as a huge surprise to Hogan, who would have been expecting WWE to treat him and book him as if he was in the 80s. But this was a new era in WWE. Whilst it was nice to have Hogan on the active roster, there were a dozen names that were incredibly over with the audience, and thankfully, WWE weren't in a position where they needed to be over-reliant on the Hulkster. Number 4. Braun Strowman.
Braun
When
Strowman.
WWE arrived at the 2018 Royal Rumble, Braun Strowman was still relatively new to competing in major top-flight matches. Strowman was a decent worker, yet he couldn't get carried away, and unfortunately for Strowman, he got carried away in a match that featured Brock Lesnar, and Strowman was instantly humbled.
Oh yeah, I think I remember. I think that was showcased on a video that we had checked out a couple videos back. Braun Strowman, like, he ended up throwing a stiff punch at Lesnar, and Lesnar just fucking laid into him, bro.
During a triple threat match that also featured Kane, Strowman kneed Lesnar in the head, and Strowman was instantly reminded of who he was in the ring with as Lesnar legitimately punched him right in the head. Strowman took the blow like a champ, but this was the last time he got carried away in the matchup, especially when competing against one of the toughest men to ever lace up a pair of boots. Number 3, Shawn Michaels in 2018.
Shawn Michaels, 2018?
In 2018, Shawn Michaels made the bold move to come out of retirement. HBK had the perfect send-off back at WrestleMania 26, yet the Saudi payday was too substantial to ignore, so Michaels would commit to having one final match. HBK believed he still had the ability to deliver a great match, and he would team with Triple H to take on The Undertaker and Kane at the Crown Jewel event. The match ended up being a total embarrassment for all.
This match should have been so good, but it just so wasn't.
For men, and HBK, whilst not completely awful, was not the old HBK, and fans wished he remained.
Seeing Shawn Michaels bald, bro, is weird. It's just fucking weird to me, man.
Retired. Michaels was quick to swallow his pride and admit that maybe it wasn't the best decision in the world to wrestle again, and Michaels and the fans have collectively tried to act like the match never even happened, which is probably for the best. Number 2, John Cena. Upon becoming the face of WWE, it allows that top star a certain degree of power and influence. At the 2010 SummerSlam event, WWE had planned for Team Nexus to defeat Team WWE. However, WWE's top guy John Cena wasn't a fan of this finish and used his sway to get the match changed and present him as a sole victor. Everybody knew that this was the wrong outcome, and this extended to Team WWE members Chris Jericho and Edge, but Cena believed that he knew best. The finish of Cena standing tall fell completely flat, and Cena was humbled when he had to come back through the curtain and address everyone who'd advised him that the finish wouldn't work. It took Cena several years to address the matter publicly, but eventually did during a Q&A in Australia.
I actually really enjoyed Cena versus the Nexus. It was fun stuff, bro. Not even gonna lie.
In that particular moment, it was too much. I think if presented in another way, it could have been a little more palatable, but I can't change the television show. I never had that power, and that's something I don't do. If you look at a laundry list of my opponents, you can tell that it's exactly how I operate. I guess wrong on the way that the story was told, and I guess that's why people are so up in arms about it. But we tell so many stories. I was wrong once. And number 1, Shawn Michaels in 1998. It's been an urban legend for decades that Shawn Michaels wasn't going to do business at WrestleMania 14. HBK was booked to drop the WWE title to Stone Cold Steve Austin, and there was intense speculation that HBK simply wasn't going to do the honors. It was believed that The Undertaker was one of the names who humbled HBK by insisting he did the job to Austin, and he reportedly even taped his fist in case he had to get physical. The dead man addressed these claims during an interview on Broken Skull Sessions. I don't think he was excited because you were on fire. Rumor has it, we don't know if Shawn was going to do business. I determined, what if he decides to do something silly? I worked with Kane that night, but this was foremost on my mind. It was a vital part of our success story, the transfer of the title because he was going away. I sat in Gorilla, watched the whole match. It sounds over the top, but I had to take my hands up. If Shawn had not done business, there would have been an appearance by The Undertaker that night. Somehow or another, that belt was going to get switched, and I was going to do what I had to do to make sure that happened, because there was so much riding on that. If it meant me thumping him up and throwing him back in the ring, that's what was going to happen. HBK would go on to reluctantly drop the title at Austin, and this would mark HBK's final match in WWE until the 2002 edition of SummerSlam. But there you have it, folks. 10 WWE wrestlers who were instantly hot.
Everybody knows what pro wrestling is, man. It's just one giant work. You know what I mean? It's scripted entertainment. It's just like watching your favorite television show or watching your favorite movie or whatever. But it's real life action. It's like watching a movie play out in real life. I fuck with it, and sometimes, you know, people, you know, you can be a big deal in another realm or whatever. But once you get into WWE, that shit's not gonna fly. And I mean, there's a lot of people like Shawn Michaels back in '98, not really wanting to drop the title on Austin. There's so many stories of how Shawn Michaels used to be back in the day. You know what I mean? Around the Montreal Screwjob. You know, there was just a lot of shit, man. It was a good video. Another video by WrestleMania, man. Knocking this shit out of the park. I appreciate you guys stopping by the channel, man. If you guys like pro wrestling content, this is the place you guys want to be, man. Road to 1,400 subscribers. Make sure you guys smash that subscribe button with the notification bell turned on, man. Leave a like on your way out. I'll see you guys in the next video. Peace.